Today, we gather to honor the memory of Mr. Miyake, a man who touched many lives. His influence, kindness, and wisdom left an indelible mark on us all. Kenneth, a loyal friend and longtime confidant, arrives at the solemn Miyake estate. Familiar faces don expressions of solemnity, a shared grief that binds them together. The air is thick with respect and remembrance, each guest reflecting on their unique connection to the patriarch. Kenneth's heart is heavy as he steps into the grand hall, memories of Mr. Miyake flooding his mind. He finds solace among the mourners, feeling the weight of unspoken words. This gathering is not just to mourn, but to celebrate a life well lived and the connections forged through it. As old friends reunite and stories are shared, the spirit of Mr. Miyake lingers, reminding them all of the enduring power of love, duty, and family. This backdrop sets the stage for Kenneth's journey, intertwined with the lives of Diane and Sophie. Stay with us as we delve deeper into Kenneth's emotions and the complexities of his heart. The story of love, loss, and new beginnings unfolds from this point forward. Kenneth walks through the grand hall, the weight of the world on his shoulders. Despite the somber atmosphere, he knows he must speak now. "Diane, I need to tell you something. I love you." His voice trembles, betraying the depth of his emotion. Diane looks at him, her eyes filled with sorrow. "Kenneth, now is not the time. My heart is too heavy." Her words hit him hard, a blow softened by understanding. She turns away, a silent tear betraying her calm facade. "You should pursue Sophie," she adds gently, her voice barely audible. "She can bring you happiness in ways I can't." Kenneth feels a wave of conflicting emotions, relief, confusion, and pain. As her words sink in, the reality of his unreciprocated love becomes clear. The seeds of a central conflict are planted, one that will navigate the treacherous waters of love, loss, and new possibilities. As we move forward, you'll see how these emotions unfold into a story of deep introspection and transformative connections. "Kenneth, I remember the times we laughed together, the moments we shared." As Kenneth reflects, his mind drifts back to happier days with Diane. Those moments of pure joy, simple and untroubled, seem like a distant dream now. They would spend hours talking, lost in each other's company, the world around them fading away. Each shared smile, each tender touch, all etched into his memory. But reality has a way of intruding on even the fondest of recollections. Now, as he stands amidst the grief of the present, those cherished memories are tinged with a deep sense of loss. Diane's laughter, once uplifting, now echoes with the weight of unfulfilled promise. Kenneth's mind oscillates between the warmth of his past and the coldness of his current reality. He is pulled into a whirlpool of emotions where love and grief intertwine in a complex dance. These reflections force him to confront the stark contrast between what was and what is. As we move forward, you'll see how Kenneth's journey through these memories shapes his choices and his heart. Stay with us as we continue to unravel this poignant tapestry of love and loss. Kenneth and Sophie find themselves alone for the first time since the memorial began. Kenneth's mind, still clouded by his unspoken words to Diane, struggles to grasp this new, unexpected connection. Sophie breaks the silence. "Kenneth, I know this is hard for you too. Let's take a walk." Her voice is soothing, full of empathy and understanding. As they walk, the tension that Kenneth felt with Diane starts to ease. He finds solace in Sophie's company, an ease he hadn't expected. They share stories, laugh softly, and for the first time in days, Kenneth feels a glimmer of hope. Sophie's gentle presence contrasts sharply with his previous conversation with Diane, where grief and rejection loomed large. With Sophie, there's understanding, a sense of calm. Kenneth's heart begins to recognize the potential for something new, something healing. His steps grow lighter as they continue through the gardens, their conversation flowing naturally. This interaction marks a pivotal moment in Kenneth's journey, a moment where he starts to see beyond his pain, where the possibility of a new relationship begins to take root. As we move forward, you'll see how this newfound connection influences Kenneth's path, offering him a chance to embrace life again. Kenneth stands at the precipice of his emotions, a storm of feelings swirling inside him. Torn between his love for Diane and his growing connection with Sophie, he's engulfed in turmoil. What would Mr. Miyake have wanted for me? For Diane? For Sophie? This question haunts him, echoing the wisdom imparted by the man whose memorial now frames this pivotal moment. Reflecting alone, Kenneth recalls Mr. Miyake's sage advice that once seemed abstract but now feels profoundly relevant. He sees Diane's face, her eyes filled with pain and rejection, yet laced with a plea for him to find his own path. Then there's Sophie, her kindness, empathy, and the ease of their interactions. In this crucible of decision, Kenneth must navigate his feelings, weighing the gravity of Mr. Miyake's words. His memories flash vividly, scenes of laughter with Diane, interspersed with moments of solace found in Sophie's presence. At this emotional climax, Kenneth knows he must choose not just for himself, but to respect the memories and aspirations Mr. Miyake held for all of them. As we move forward, you'll see how Kenneth's introspection steers him towards a resolution, shaped by love, loss, and the quest for new beginnings. Kenneth stood still, absorbing the weight of Diane's words. Diane was right. He reflected quietly, understanding the depth of her suggestion. This was his moment of truth. He had to let go of the past, the unspoken desires, and the lingering grief. With a deep breath, Kenneth embraced his feelings for Sophie. It wasn't betrayal, it was acceptance and growth. Diane's wisdom led him to see that moving forward was not a sign of forgetting, but of honoring Mr. Miyake's legacy in a different light. His mind raced through memories of Mr. Miyake's gentle counsel. "Embrace new possibilities, Kenneth," the echoes of the past whispered. In this realization, Kenneth found peace. He knew that choosing Sophie was a step towards healing, for him and for everyone connected by their shared loss. Resolving his inner conflict, Kenneth felt a burden lift. His heart, once torn and troubled, now beat with purpose. Determined, he walked towards Sophie, a new chapter unfolding before him. "It's time to let go and embrace new possibilities," Kenneth affirmed, acknowledging his journey and the new path ahead. As we move forward, you'll see how this decision reshapes Kenneth's life and the lives of those around him. Kenneth and Sophie sit side by side, the weight of recent events lingering. Sophie turns to Kenneth, her voice soft yet firm. "I'm glad we can be here for each other, Kenneth." A new chapter unfolds, a fragile yet hopeful bond forming between them. They speak of their shared memories and mutual loss, realizing that their connection goes deeper than mere circumstance. In this quiet moment, understanding and support blossom. Kenneth feels a gentle shift, recognizing that within their conversations lies the foundation for something new. As their words weave a tapestry of reassurance, Kenneth and Sophie discover the beginnings of a relationship built on empathy and mutual respect. The path ahead may be uncertain, but together they face it with newfound courage. Their dialogue signifies more than just support. It marks the dawn of a potential partnership, one rooted in lessons learned from grief. As Kenneth looks into Sophie's eyes, he sees not just an ally, but a possibility for renewed happiness. This is just the beginning of their journey together. As we move forward, you'll see how their connection grows, forming a cornerstone of healing and hope that transcends their shared sorrow. Kenneth stands among the gathered, reflecting on the man who left an indelible mark on all their lives. "Mr. Miyake would have wanted us to find happiness and support each other," he muses. As the memories of Mr. Miyake are shared, the atmosphere shifts from solemnity to a collective acknowledgement of his lasting legacy. Characters reminisce about his wisdom, his kindness, and his unwavering commitment to family and friends. Despite the heavy hearts, there's a palpable sense of peace weaving through the grief. Kenneth feels it as he looks around, seeing the same resolution in the eyes of those who knew Mr. Miyake well. There's a shared understanding that honoring Mr. Miyake's wishes means moving forward, cherishing each moment, and nurturing the connections forged through shared loss. Kenneth and Sophie exchange a glance, a silent agreement to uphold these values. In this closure, Kenneth finds a new kind of strength, the same strength that Mr. Miyake had exhibited throughout his life, a strength now inherited by those he left behind. Kenneth whispers to himself, "This is how we honor him, by living fully, loving deeply, and standing by each other." And in that moment, Mr. Miyake's legacy lives on, vibrant and eternal. As the sun sets on the day of the memorial, Kenneth stands at a reflective crossroad. "In the end," he muses, "love and loss are intertwined, but it's the connections we make that give life meaning." Kenneth's journey through grief has brought him to a deeper understanding of his emotions. Acceptance and moving forward now seem not only possible but necessary. The sorrowful cloud that once loomed over him begins to lift, replaced by a sense of peace. Emotional closure isn't just about saying goodbye, it's about embracing the new beginnings that come from endings. Kenneth realizes that while Mr. Miyake's passing is a profound loss, it's also a reminder of the enduring bonds they all share. He feels ready to carry forward the memory and lessons from his mentor. Through his final reflections, Kenneth finds the strength to open his heart anew, looking forward to the possibilities ahead. As he stands there, contemplating the journey he's taken, it's clear this is just the beginning of a new chapter shaped by the love and wisdom he's gained. As the memorial service comes to an end, we carry forward the memories and the lessons learned. Guests begin to leave the estate, each step a testament to the moments shared and the bonds that remain. In the midst of this farewell, Kenneth and Sophie walk away together. Their footsteps echo with the promise of new beginnings, a journey intertwined with the legacies of those they've loved and lost. This moment brings the narrative full circle, from the grief that convened them to the hope that guides them forward. As one chapter closes, another begins, enriched by love, loss, and the ever-present strength of human connection.